Welcome to part 2 of Caring for Your Senses, a workshop on Ayurveda and essential oils. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoy these videos, please subscribe so you're notified when new installments are ready to view. This video covers what Ayurveda says about our sensory impressions and why it's important to be discerning about what we take in. So let me share my screen. Always takes a second. Okay, so in Ayurveda, sensory impressions are considered crucial to our health. Just as the food we eat creates our physical makeup, our sensory impressions create the quality of our thoughts, which in turn affects our physical and spiritual health. So consider the phrase, you are what you eat. And let's expand that to you are what you put your awareness on, which covers all consumption, everything we take in. Information is constantly available to us through our senses. You're exposed to trillions of bits of information every day, and that data stream enters your awareness through your 5 sense organs, your ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin. So let's look at a mind map from the point of view of yoga and Ayurveda. So you have your sense organs, which each take in one of your senses, your hearing, your seeing, smelling, tasting, and feeling. And those all feed into the part of the mind we call the manos. It's the reactive mind, the mind that takes in and has an immediate reaction, which then filters through your memory, your chitta. So the chitta flips through all of its past experiences for identification or for story. Oh, this thing that we're taking, it's like that. It's like something that we've seen before or heard before, to create a new memory. And both of these things, the reactive mind and the memory, feed into ahamkara, which is the egoic mind. And this is the mind that makes up a story about everything that we take in. What does that mean about me? And so you're checking in, what has this said about me before? What's my story? What's my opinion? What does this say about my ego? And then finally, buddhi is our discernment, our wisdom. It's where we can say, is that story really true? What do we know? What does our wisdom tell us beyond reactivity, beyond our memories, beyond our ego? But anything we let in needs to be dealt with in some way. So we can also be discerning before we even get there by being discriminate about what we take in. And I have down there at the bottom there the word samskara. So samskara is a Sanskrit term used in yoga and Ayurveda, which refers to the mental impressions that are left by what we take in and the story that we put on top of that. So anything taken in through the senses, filtered through the manos, becomes an impression or a samskara in the chitta and the ahamkara. So stamped on our memory and being potentially. So the movies we watch, the words and sounds we hear, the images we see, the music we listen to, the conversations we have, even the smells we ingest, all contribute to samskara, the mental impressions in our minds. So it's critical not only to be careful what we expose ourselves to, but also to take care of our sense organs, as these are the entry points into our psyche, and we need them functioning well. So the 5 senses of taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing are gifts to us as human beings through these material bodies so that we can experience life. They can give us pleasure and differentiate our human experience from our spiritual one, and can be a bridge between the two. You know, for example, transcendent music or a glorious sunset feed our senses, but also our spiritual selves. So when we misuse our senses and don't notice the spaces between these different parts of our mind, we believe that what we take in through these experiences is all that matters, and they can mislead us. So misuse of the senses is one of the main causes of disease. So we can act impulsively, take in harmful food or impressions, and end up with toxins and other imbalances. So for example, we could overuse the sense of taste by overeating in one sitting or eating too often. If we aren't savoring our food and truly enjoying our sense of taste, we're more likely to shovel too much in, eat food that isn't fresh or even taste that good. Loud music, chemically created fragrances, perfumes, or cleaning products, browsing social media all day draw your attention outward and have you forget your true nature, hampering your ability to be discerning and to live and feel the way you want to. I've got another slide to share with you. Okay, so there are three overarching qualities of everything in our material world. And in the Sanskrit language, those are called the Mahagunas. These three gunas, or subtle qualities, are always in flux in our minds, largely because of what we choose to consume in our lives through our senses. So in recognizing these imbalances and fluctuations and the qualities that various things we choose to expose ourselves to can affect us, we can construct a life that allows us better balance and optimal mental health. So we're after sattva. Sattva is the quality of peace, clarity, positivity, contentment. It's when you're feeling at your best, spacious and joyful but not agitated. Meditation, walks, being in service of others, spending time in water, near water, in nature, eating fresh foods. These are all sattvic activities in nature. However, we live in a very rajasic world. So rajas is the quality of action, activity, motivation, energy. It allows things to move and change, and we need rajas. But what happens when there's too much rajas? We become stressed. We have an overactive mind. It can create anxiety, an inability to rest, even aggression. So examples of rajas are the energy of a city, shopping, lively conversations, spicy foods, caffeine, and intense exercise. So all of us are subject then to tamas sometimes, which is the quality of inertia, can be depression, dullness, negativity. It keeps things static and dark. So we do need tamas for rest, but too much of it leads to lethargy, pessimism, and self-destruction. And examples of tamas are consuming too much media, being on screens, sleeping too much, a dark or messy environment. Leftovers are tamasic, greasy food. So while we need them both rajas and tamas, in our day to activate and deactivate us, we can get caught in a cycle of swinging wildly between the two. So instead, we can use what we surround ourselves with to feel more calm, peaceful, and resilient. So we're striving for a mostly sattvic existence. And as we go today, we'll talk specifically about what kinds of impressions show up as rajas, tamas, and sattva in our lives, and then going forward in the next video as well. So anything we are exposed to has a quality. And those qualities move from the external to the internal through our senses. So as you can probably imagine, aside from being discerning about what we take in, it might be nice to just take a break from our senses sometimes. So in comes Pratyahara. And Pratyahara is a Sanskrit word that means the withdrawing of the senses often as a part of a meditation practice. It's why a dark room or an eye pillow, silence, they're so calming. Meditation is one of the best tools to cultivate Pratyahara because sitting down to meditate requires you to draw your senses inward. But next time you meditate, or even right now, when you finish this video, take a few minutes to tune in to each of the 5 senses one at a time. Notice what you're experiencing and then purposely withdraw your attention from them. So you can learn to practice Pratyahara outside of meditation by using your senses in pleasant, balanced ways that point you in the direction of sattva, balance, and harmony. And this allows you to be in your body without exploiting it. And so beginning to just create your world intentionally. Okay, so that's the end of today's content. Come back for the next installment where we'll talk about each of our specific senses and daily practices and essential oils that you can use to care for these vital parts of yourself. So again, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like hearing from me, be sure to sign up for my newsletter, which will be linked at the end of this video. See you next time.